President Trump is facing renewed calls to release his tax returns after Monday's meeting with Vladimir Putin. Republican Congressman Mark Sanford told the Washington Post the president needs to clear things up and that he wants more answers on the president's finances. And John Lieberman is a certified public accountant and managing director of Perelson Weiner LLP. Thanks a lot for joining us, John.
It's our pleasure.
I guess the first question, President Trump is the first presidential candidate to not release his tax returns. What would we find in those tax returns if they are released?
Well, when we look at a tax return, it's sort of like opening up a window or the curtains of a room. We want to see what's there. We want to see where the incomes are coming, where different disclosures are made, different things that will give us an insight as to where the money is, so to speak. You know, as the expression goes, you follow the money.
And speaking of money, shifting to the special counsel investigation, one of Robert Mueller's focuses has been money laundering. What exactly is money laundering, and why would he be looking for that?
Well, money laundering is very simple. It's from a criminal activity where money that is illicit is now integrated back into the system. So there's placement, lineage, and integration. So what happens is that the criminal activity produces the money has to be now washed, and then it has to get back into the system or integrated back in there. So if I lent you $100 million and you invested in something and we did disclose the relationship through shell companies and the rest, that money would be brought back into the system if I had originally gotten it from an outside source that was not legal.
All right, so how would that work in an industry like real estate?
Well, real estate is, if we know right now, the government has put certain disclosures as to when someone buys a $100 million apartment, who owns it, who actually owns it. In the past, they used LLCs and shell companies to actually disclose, not to disclose who actually was the beneficial owner of that real estate. So if the two of us entered into a transaction and I was company A and I was purchasing your apartment, you wouldn't know if I was behind that company or somebody else was.
And a final question, I guess, could you elaborate on exactly what investigators would be looking for if they are indeed investigating money laundering?
Well, just like in Watergate, they always say follow the money. So we need to find out where the sources of investments were made, how he paid his bills, or anyone pays their bills. And I think that's where Mueller is doing his job, is to track those funds.
And do you think that's a reason why the president has refused to release his tax returns? Because clearly you can get a lot of questions answered just by looking at those tax returns.
Well, I don't know if that may be the primary reason, but it could be one of many different reasons that the president has not disclosed his returns at all.
All right, John Lieberman, thank you so much, and thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
All right.